great devotional today from Psalms 32. And in the first and second verse it said, "How blessed is the man to whom the Lord does not impute iniquity, and in whose spirit there's no deceit." And that is such a cool Psalms, because when it says he does not impute iniquity, it means he doesn't place sin on our account, but he places it on his account on the cross. It's so awesome. And I want to tell you a really cool story. It's one of the most endearing stories of my days as a father. But when my daughter was in about the third grade, they had to do this mathematics test where they had to do 30 problems. They were multiplication problems in 3 minutes. And she kept getting stuck and she couldn't get it done in 3 minutes. And she was really sad and frustrated. So on about Tuesday night, I got into her room that night and I started memorizing them with her. And so we did them over and over again. Well, I'll never forget, on Wednesday, I came into her room. She had come home from school. She was sitting at her little white desk. She had a little stopwatch, and she had copied off lots and lots of copies of the test, where you could picture the scene because lots of them were wadded up and tossed on the floor. And she had tears streaming down her face. She had tried it again and again and again. Apparently, she had failed it one more time at school. And she was so sad and so frustrated. And so I stepped into her room and I said, "Courtney, can I help you?" And she goes, "Get out of here," like that. And I said, okay, I can do that. But I want you to know it makes me feel sad when you talk to me like that. And so I left her room and let her work it out on her own. Well, that night I walked into my room, and on my bed, there was a little note from a little piece of blue paper torn off and a little purple sucker taped to the paper. And the paper said, "Dear Dad, I'm sorry about my attitude, ADATOOD. Please forgive me. I love you, Courtney." And then there was this purple sucker. Well, it literally broke my heart in two, because I'd been studying Psalms 103 that week, and it says, "As a father has compassion for his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him." And you know, the truth was, when Courtney talked to me like that, I wasn't mad at her. I wasn't gonna go, discipline her for talking to me like that. Her little heart was broken, and I had a chance to hold her in my arms and tie her little heart back together again. And it hit me in the neatest way. That's the way the Lord sees me when I sin, like all the time. And he looks at me like I looked at Courtney with the purple sucker. And so as that psalm goes on, here's the questions. In verse 3, it says, "When I kept silent about my sin, my body wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night, your hand was heavy upon me." And so the question is when, we live in unconfessed sin and you do something you know ain't right, how does it drive you into darkness and to make you feel alienated from God? Worst feeling in the world, isn't it? And then the second question, as you go on in that Psalms into verse 5, it says, "I acknowledge my sin to you, and my iniquity I did not hide. I said, I will confess my transgression from the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin." I love that when God forgives us, he even wipes away the guilt of our sin. And so my question is twofold. One, how does guilt and shame wipe you out? And then when God takes away the guilt and the shame of your sin, what's that freedom to know you're forgiven? What's that like for you?